From CNN, I'm Fez Jamil with the 5 things you need to know for Friday, April 7th. The Israeli military says it launched a series of retaliatory airstrikes and struck targets in southern Lebanon and Gaza early this morning. The launches came hours after dozens of rockets were fired from Lebanon into Israeli territory. Israel says the targets belong to the Palestinian militant group Hamas or the Palestinian Islamic Jihad group. But the Palestinian Health Ministry says a children's hospital in Gaza City was hit and damaged by the strikes. CNN's Salma Abdelaziz is in Jerusalem, where this latest violence began.
You really have to go back to Wednesday when Israeli police stormed Al-Aqsa Mosque. There was very dramatic social media footage that showed Israeli police beating worshippers, beating people inside with batons, with rifle butts. That was extremely inflammatory to the Muslim world, as you can imagine, particularly during the holy month of Ramadan.
2 black lawmakers have been ousted from the Republican-led Tennessee House. Justin Jones and Justin Pearson are 2 of the 3 lawmakers who led a gun reform protest in the chamber last week. But the House failed to oust the 3rd lawmaker who took part, Gloria Johnson, who's white.
Rather than pass laws that will address red flags and banning assault weapons and universal background checks, they passed resolutions to expel their colleagues.
To get to the issues that are at stake. And sometimes that takes breaking a few decorum rules.
It is my promise to fight like hell to get both of them back.
A vote to expel a member has only happened twice in Tennessee since the 1860s. It was an emotionally charged session that took 7 hours, and protesters flooded the state capitol as it took place, with this message for their representatives. President Joe Biden weighed in via Twitter last night, calling the vote undemocratic. The Biden administration has put forward a federal rule change on transgender student athletes. It would allow schools to enforce some restrictions on the athletes, but opposes policies that categorically ban those students from being part of sports teams that are consistent with their gender. This change comes as a handful of GOP states across the country are pushing anti-transgender measures, which President Biden has consistently spoken out against. This new announcement is the most concrete step for trans rights from the administration so far, but has been met with mixed reviews from LGBTQ advocates, with some saying it doesn't go far enough. A former Speaker of the Michigan State House admits he took more than $110,000 in bribes. In a plea deal filed in federal court, Rick Johnson says he acted, quote, corruptly while he was head of Michigan's Medical Marijuana Licensing Board from 2017 to 2019. Johnson faces a maximum of 10 years in prison and $250,000 fine, and the plea deal says he also has to repay what he got in cash payments and benefits. CNN has reached out to Johnson's attorney for comment. A new report says a Supreme Court judge accepted several luxury trips from a GOP megadonor. That's next. A report from ProPublica says Justice Clarence Thomas and his wife have gone on several luxury trips involving subsidized travel and stays at properties owned by a GOP megadonor. And they were not disclosed on Thomas's public financial filings with the Supreme Court, according to ProPublica. In a statement, the megadonor in question, Harlan Crow, says he's been friends with Thomas and his wife for more than 30 years, and the hospitality was, quote, no different from the hospitality we extend to our many other dear friends, adding that he never asked about a pending or lower court case, and Thomas never discussed one. The Supreme Court did not immediately respond to CNN's request for comment, while ProPublica says Thomas did not respond to a list of detailed questions. That's all for now. I'll be back with our next episode, which drops at 9 a.m. Eastern.
Sunday nights, we're trying something a little different. One whole story, one whole hour. The world's best journalists dig deeper into the stories they can't ignore. Go in-depth every Sunday night.
The Whole Story with Anderson Cooper premieres Sunday, April 16th at 8 p.m. only on CNN.